Okay, here we go. I seem to have fixed it. I'm playing, the Revolution, okay. The first PC game I am, streaming, hang out, I will listen to you guys, and, you guys, and any question, and you guys, and you can ask me questions or make questions you want. Okay, hold on one moment. Hello, Seipu. Okay, one moment. I'm just streaming this game. I'm just give me a second here. I just got a message to people on Patreon. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Post it in chat if you can. Okay. Oceans. Okay, one moment. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just messaging people on Patreon. Okay. Okay. That should work now. Okay, hello. Oh, there's an echo? Okay, hang on a second. I will fix that. Just be patient with me. I'm sorry. This is just the first PC game that I'm streaming. I've never done a PC game stream, so I'm sorry. I just gotta get the settings all right. Uh, okay, one moment here. I have a thumbnail also for this. It was just the main menu, but I'll still put that in. Uh, okay. Okay. Our thumbnail will be here. Okay. Well, okay. Well, the that Avengers Endgame. I'm not watching that movie personally, but a lot of people were spoiling it for other people. Like I saw comments the other day where people were spoiling that stuff. I deleted all the comments of like the spoilers, but some people were posting spoilers on my videos. So just a heads up for people, just to watch out for that stuff. When people, because some people they're just really some people just like to ruin other things for other people. I had that happen to me when I was playing Red Dead Redemption the first time. I Red Dead Redemption 2. I had people come into the chat and just spoil the game for me. But okay, let me look at this now. Let's see if this whole thing is working. Okay, it appears that my screen is kind of zoomed in, which is kind of weird. Hang on a second. Okay. I think I'll fix it now. Okay, wait, let me listen to the sound myself. Let me see if there's an echo. Okay, wait, let me listen to the sound myself. Let me see if there's an echo. Okay, wait, let me listen to the sound myself. Let me see if there's an echo. Okay, it sounds fine to me. Okay, hang on. Now the game just needs volume. The game just I'm sorry. This is just my first PC live stream, so I still might be because I have two. Okay, hang on. Can you guys still hear me? I think I had two microphones on. That's. Okay, hang on. Can you guys still hear me? I had two microphones on. I think that's why it was doing that sound. Okay, I turned off one microphone. Okay, let me. Okay, let me get the volume for you guys for the game. I'm sorry. I thought that this was gonna work. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Is the volume for the game working now? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Can you guys hear the volume from the game? I'm gonna lower it a little bit because I think it might be a little too loud. Everyone can hear it now? Okay, and do you hear me still? Do you hear my voice, guys in chat? Okay. Okay, so this is my first time playing this game. My computer isn't really built for running games, but this game I should be able to handle no problem. But I really wanted to play this game because, as you guys know, I like history a lot, and this is a historical game. It's kind of a strategy game in a way, but this game is set. If you guys know the history, this game is set during the Reign of Terror, specifically in the French Revolution. This was like a really scary time to live in, because a lot of people were getting executed in this time period, and a lot of people were getting accused of things they didn't do. But in this game, you actually play as a judge on the Revolutionary Tribunal, and you have to judge people, and you have to judge whether to sentence them to death, whether they're innocent, or whether to send them to prison. It's called We the Revolution. So let's see, profile name, let's just make it Pat. That'd be good for me here. Options, anything here? Full screen language. What languages do they have on here? Oh, they have Polish too, but I'll play it in English, so you guys understand it. Tutorial on, okay, everything's there. Okay, accept. Okay, okay, and I'm just letting you guys know if the screen goes black at any time, it's probably because my game crashes. It's probably not going to happen, but just giving everybody a heads up just in case. Let me see, hopefully this all works out here.
Father. I am here. Do you hear me? I gave you the best I could. Why did you disown me? I have your blood in my veins. How could you?
This game is called We the Revolution, Philip.
Do I mean nothing to you? Why did you grieve for him? He was nothing. I am better than he was. People will follow in my footsteps.
What's the limit to fill up in your warehouses before you get raided? It's about 70% in a large warehouse. Who is, in chat, guys, who is familiar with the history of the French Revolution? Anybody know this time period well? Philip or Titanic or, Irish? Okay, let's see. I think we're gonna start the game off now. But you don't remember much about it. Well, I can tell you guys about it. The French Revolution is probably my strongest subject in history. I know this time period really well. This is the time period that I've read about a lot, and I love, I love games that are set specifically during this time period. So I bought this game. I wanted to play this game for some time. I knew it was only on PC. I wish it was on PS4, but it's only on PC. But in this time, this was a very scary time to be. This was a very scary time to be alive in. Like, a lot of bad things happened, and a lot of things that actually happened in this game are actually pretty realistic for the time period. And this was during the French Revolution, the extremist part of the French Revolution. That was during the Reign of Terror. The French king, King Louis XVI, he was actually executed. He was executed. His wife was executed as well. France had a revolution. France had a revolution. France had a revolution when the people stormed the Bastille in 1789. The Bastille was this big prison fortress. The reason that the people stormed the fortress in the first place was because King Louis XVI dismissed Necker, who was his financial advisor, because France had racked up massive debt after their defeat in the French and Indian War. That was in the 1750s, and then also their participation in the American Revolution. And what happened was the king had to pay off all that debt. So the only way to pay it off was really taxation. And Necker, the king's financial advisor, he told him everybody should pay a 5% flat tax. And the king rejected that. He told him, no, we're going to put all the taxes on the peasantry. And as you can imagine, that made a lot of people that were in the peasantry really angry. And when the Necker was dismissed, that's when people stormed the Bastille. They took over the fortress. And then eventually the king was overthrown himself. France became a constitutional monarchy for a few years. What happened then was that King Louis actually tried to flee to Austria because his wife, her cousin was the king of Austria, I believe, and he was actually caught trying to flee to Austria. Then he was executed. The entire royal family was executed. The children were spared, I believe, and then France became a republic. But then afterwards, it became kind of a dictatorship controlled by this parliament that was just out of control, insane. And in this time period, they were accusing people like left and right. They were saying, oh, you were counter-revolutionary. If you were considered to be counter-revolutionary, they would take you to the guillotine. They would chop your head off. The trials that people were on, the trials were not fair at all. They were nonsense. A lot of innocent people were executed during this time. I think it was somewhere around between 20 to 30,000 people were executed. That was during the height of the Reign of Terror. That was in 1794. That was Maximilien Robespierre. That guy was a madman. But anyways, let's start playing a little bit of the game, and I can still talk about some of the history while I'm playing the game. And in this game, you actually play as a judge on the Revolutionary Tribunal, and you have to judge people if they're going to get sent to the guillotine, or if they're going to get spared, or they're going to get imprisoned. The guillotine is that machine that cuts people's heads off that existed during that time. A lot of people died from it. But let's read this here. Raymond de Voy, read that correct. Remember me next time. I want to stop drinking this cloudy rotug. Remember me before I drink it. We're disgracing Themis has something coming. Okay. See, this was bound to happen. I told you. You said we would go. You promised. Papa had a lot of work. Yes, a lot of heavy glasses. Okay. Today your favorite son wanted to prove he was more honorable than his father, so he started a fight, a 5-year-old boy, for God's sake. Our neighbors wanted you to explain that to them, but, well, you were fighting for justice, and then, damn you, bloody drunk. Mother. Okay, so you take a look at a lot of evidence, you listen to what witnesses say, and then you decide for yourself what you want to do with them. And also, there's consequences, because if you find too many people innocent in this game, you actually get executed. Because there's also the mob. Because during the French Revolution, what was kind of scary was there was this big mob of people, and they were basically just deciding on who to get executed. And while the trials were going on, you had like a mob of people in the back of the courtroom, and they were just screaming like, execute him, execute him. It was a scary time period. And that person could be completely innocent, and the judge would feel pressured to execute the person just because the crowd was chanting. So you had this like crazy mob in the background. Okay, so let's read something. Documents. Drag and drop documents to manage their layout. Click to display. Okay. React to events. Ignoring them may have severe consequences. Review detailed information about current events, actions, and characters. Consider the effects and decide the defendant's fate. Change the game settings. Review the current balance of power in Paris. Intrigues or complex conflict between you and another political player. A defeat may turn out to be disastrous for you. Influence points are the main currency in the game. Use them wisely. Okay, so there's some kind of currency system. Pay close attention to the changes in your influence and relations with factions. Some of your decisions and changes in the world of the game may cause global modifiers to come into action. These factors affect relations, reputation, influence. You can review them in the notebook. Okay, let's read about what this case is about. Files. Review charges and facts. This will make it easier for you to unlock questions for the defendant. To Judge Alexis Fideli, we have not expected this kind of behavior from your son, although apparently we should have. Innocent child's play turned into an assault on our children. The younger one, Antoine, now has a chipped front tooth. We hope that you will punish your child accordingly. Should the situation repeat itself, we will react more decisively. I'm sure we can deal with a gambler and a drunkard, even if he is a judge. We will not let our children be hurt. Okay, let's see what this is about. Finding links. Find the correct links to unlock questions for the defendant. Choose a line of inquiry and link it to the right category. The correct links to unlock questions. Okay. When linking lines of inquiry and categories, you can make a limited number of mistakes. If you make too many mistakes, the whole system will become locked. Okay. Some cases may contain traps. Read through the files thoroughly to find the line of inquiry that are irrelevant. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay. Let's look at the chipped tooth. Hang on one moment here. Let's look at this. Negative relations with factions mean negative consequences for you. The fervor in Paris is rising. Reputation impacts everything in the world. Factions, family, the audiences. Okay. Okay, so there's three options. There's the death penalty, there's prison, and there's acquittal, which basically let them go. Common folk, revolutionaries. Okay, so you have the regular population, and then you have the revolutionaries, and these two, I'm guessing these two are not going to always agree with each other. There's like one decision you make which will piss off the common folk, and then one will make these guys angry, the revolutionaries. And these are the angry mob that I was telling you guys about. This is probably them. Okay, let's see what else we got here. What is this? Make your decision. Each action may require a different number of influence points and have a different chance of success. Consider them carefully. Oh, this is the final decision that you have to make. Your addictions are no longer the fact that other children are bullying your son because of them is a minor problem, but who is spreading these rumors is likely to be one of their parents. They could have whispered into the children's ears when they shouldn't play with, and why. They might even have spiced the story up with a lie, but who will hear it next? Okay, What is this here? Make the most important decision. Condemn the defendant or deem them not guilty. Sign a document to legitimize your verdict. Okay. Okay. Let's find out here what's going on. Okay. Question discovered. Possibility of repeating. Oh, caught in the trap. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, so I'm guessing this you have to make a decision on in here. Okay. This gets a little confusing because this is my first time playing it, so I apologize if I make any mistakes. Gather information, influence the jury's attitude by questioning the defendant. To ask questions, you have to first unlock them in the inquiry linking menu. Being in the jury's good graces allows you to find out which way they will sway after you have asked a question. Okay, did you really break Antoine's tooth? I don't know, I don't think so. You hit him in the face? I think I kicked him, but not that hard. Okay. Okay, question discovered. Who started the fight? I can tell you who ended it. I think it was me. I kicked the one on the left and then wanted to get the one on the right, but they ended it. They knocked me to the ground and paid me back for hitting them. Okay, so I'm kind of figuring this out. So okay, so you have to choose the right one here, and then it unlocks a question. Extenuating circumstances. What are they? Course of events. How did your play turn into a fight? Okay. Our neighbors Antoine and Jean, they were saying mean things about you. We were playing guards and they asked me to pretend to be a drunkard whom they would, you know. You were fighting both of them at once. I had to. Okay. Let's see this. Course of events. All questions unlocked. What exactly were they saying? Are you too drunk to guess? I was not asking you. They were yelling that you are. Well, I told them that it's not true. And they started calling me names. They called me a drunkard's son. Okay. Okay. The fact that other so this is the judge's son here. The fact that other children are bullying your son because of them. But who is spreading these rumors? It's likely to be one of their parents. They could have whispered in the children's ears whom they shouldn't have. They might even spice up the story of a lie, but who will hear it next? Okay. Okay. Gotta decide. Is everybody still here in chat? Okay. Influence points, reputation, common folk, revolutionaries. Okay. Okay, all those questions have been answered. They might even have spies. Okay, What do you guys think I should do here? Intimidate parents, let's talk eye to eye. I wonder what that means, let's talk eye to eye. You talk individually to someone, or I guess you threaten them. That might be what it means. Or intimidate them. What do you guys think, what do you guys think I should choose here? Everybody in chat still? Intimidate. Cameron says intimidate. Irish, you still here? Philip, you still here? Okay, I just see Cameron. Oh, hey, Damien. Intimidate. Okay, everybody's saying intimidate. Okay, let's do intimidate parents then. Let's see what happens. Influence points -3. Okay. 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 I completed the first one. Okay. We should get a more serious case next.
Paris.
This is We the Revolution.
Liberté! We were enchanted by the idea of freedom. We could not resist it. Whole families took to the streets. France was never so happy. We were enchanted by the idea of freedom.
That's what happened during the French Revolution, is you had an angry mob of people that were just executing so many people. So many innocent people got killed during this time. It was a pretty scary time period. You could be walking down the street and you could wear nice clothes, and like an angry mob of people could accuse you of being a member of the aristocracy, and then you could be executed just for that. Find out which verdict is expected by the factions and your close ones. Common folk and revolutionaries. Okay, so it shows the people and the revolutionaries, they want prison. Acquittal, nobody wants an acquittal. Okay, let's find out what's going on here. What did this guy do? Okay. The jury, there's also a jury here. So this is not a trial by judge anymore. This is also jury here. Okay, let's see here. Protocol. Review the trial's records. Nothing in here. Okay. Okay, let's see what happened here. Jean Renard, 45-year-old innkeeper, has been charged with fraud. He is accused of diluting alcohol in his tavern, tricking his clients into paying extra. Guests came with their minds set on the specific goal, getting roaring drunk, but instead of staggering out after drinking 2 pitchers of wine or several pints of beer, they would sit in until morning, still sober and completely penniless. The innkeeper's fraud came to light when one of the customers discovered the scam and caught the cheater in the act. The man entered the host's cellar and witnessed him diluting the alcohol in the barrels with ordinary water. As a result, customers received only 4 parts of what they paid for and 1 part from the water carrier. Okay, so the guy's accused of scamming his customers, but just because he's accused of this doesn't mean that it happened. And this is the problem, is that this is where this is a very unique game, because just because somebody's being accused of something and because the majority of people think somebody's guilty doesn't mean that that person's guilty. Okay, let's try to put this together. Let's see what's going on here. The witness can also be lying. That's also, you also have to take into account that. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Okay, there's one trap in here. Okay, so there's one thing that I gotta avoid. Let's go with motive. Incorrect link. Ah. Okay. Okay. Questions to reveal. Okay. Okay, the innkeeper. Exposing the innkeeper. I think this is witness. Okay. That's right. My name is Jean Renard, Monsieur le Judge. Nothing but a fraud. Yeah. Please call in Thomas Leclerc. That's the witness. Okay. Okay. How long have you suspected that something was wrong with Mr. Renard's alcohol? How did you catch in the... I became suspicious about a month ago. Plenty of wine jugs were emptied, but instead of getting more drunk, I was just getting sober. It was already dawn when I realized I had no money left on me, and I was sober as a baby. How is that possible? Back then, I didn't realize customers were being served a proper first drink, then receiving more and more water in the drinks after that. Being slightly drunk, they weren't able to notice the difference. Was it like that every time? Every single time. Okay. Oh, I wasn't able to... I wanted to ask him about how he caught the guy, but I guess you can only ask one question at a time. Caught in a trap. Ah, damn, that was it. Okay. Okay. How long have you been involved in the illegal practice of diluting alcohol? It's not an illegal practice. Everyone adds a bit. In your case, it was a bit of wine in the water, not the other way around. Have you been doing this for a long time? A few weeks at the most. It's been hard to earn a living lately. I used to run an honest business. Pure wine was always spilled in the glasses. Is there any proof to support your testimony? He lied to his customers. No reason he wouldn't lie in court. Okay. How did you feel about tricking weary citizens? Terrible, but all I wanted was to keep my business afloat. Others don't mess around for sure. No diluting would be the end of me. So I decided to commit fraud to not lose money. If I lose my tavern, my family would starve to death. You have children? I do. 1 son and $2. Time to start saving up for the dowry. Then why don't you send them to work, idiot? Jury's opinion, prison. Okay. Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this game. Customers drunkenness. Is that motive or method? Hey Brian, how are you? I'm just thinking on this one right now. Would that be method or motive? Okay, got it. Your clients drink a lot. Tavern regulars usually drink a lot. So you have been selling plenty of wine. Quite a lot, yes. And yet you have been paying taxes on the amount of wine you have bought, not the amount of wine you have been selling, correct? I don't understand. You have been paying taxes on 4 wine barrels, but by adding a quarter of water into each, have actually made the money for selling 5 barrels of wine. That's one way of putting it. Perhaps it is correct. I'm not too good with my numbers. You are not good with numbers, yet good enough to have calculated that fraud pays off. That's a good point. I wasn't aware. I will take that answer into account. The judge has exposed the bastard. Okay, let's see here. Okay. This guy's pretty much everything he says. He's just making himself look more guilty. Am I able to call in the witness again? That's my question. Most Parisians are ordinary. They have ordinary problems, ordinary and an ordinary resistance. They were not hardened by the revolution. The father of the family that spread the rumor about your weakness was no different. A few punches were more than enough to convince the instinct that it was time to stop talking. Okay. I'm good, Brett. How are you? His hierarchy? Robespierre. Robespierre was the psychopath that killed so many people during this time. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, return. Okay, so apparently you can only ask the witness 1 question at a time. Hi, Overboard. What do you guys think? I think he's guilty. I mean, he's saying that he's doing it because his tavern was running low on money. But the thing is, though, when he pulled his scam, he's been making way more than enough money to feed his family. Okay. I think this guy, we're gonna find this guy guilty. Okay, I think prison. Do it, let's see here. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's guilty. Yeah. There's a definitely not death penalty for this, but prison. Everybody pretty much agrees that he's gonna go to prison. Okay. Yeah, guilty. Okay. Did pretty good on that one. Okay. I hope we have a more interesting case soon. I'm enjoying this game. Okay. To join me, I have a feeling this night's moon favors gamblers. It does not favor spouses. God should grace of wines understand the importance of an evening game of dice. They should also know the right amount of wine guarantees a lucky roll. I should go home. Bringing a judge to the game as benefits other players will surely not cheat. This is not a strong argument. My name is Jaques Luis David. I am a huge, humble painter, not a silver-tongued judge. You are a sly politician, Jaques. As a politician, I understand the importance of keeping promises, and you, my friend, are trying to get at yours. Guess keep your promise. Hey, saucer cats. You would have had him executed, Damien, for diluting alcohol. I mean, that's a little too serious. Okay, I decided to keep the promise. Also, the story changes depending on what choices you make.
The moon favors gamblers.
Yes, this game is on Steam. What? Frederick, something imagines me as your deep state. He dreams that you wish the distant countries have wonderful adventures, and you'll tell us about them. But all I see is a man in a lifeboat, and one of yours is broken. A furious storm churns up with huge waves that devour you, and I'm standing on the edge of a cliff holding a makeshift lamp. Your children have already forgotten about you. They are far, far away. Your father died of old age. Your drinking companions now play cards with new friends, but not you. Hoping that your boat does not sink. The vision is not so. Your sons are still, but the. Okay. Well. Good night. Okay. Relations of family. You have to choose an action to see its description. Upon returning home, you can decide how you would like to spend the rest of the day. Okay. Each action will affect the other members of the family as well as their attitude towards you. Each character's attitude can provide you with a deprive or certain bonuses, reputational factions. Your youngest son is special. His attitude makes the other family members like you slightly more, take good care of him. After various Morton, you can, okay. Influence on revolutionaries, influence on reputation, influence on the people. Okay. You want David to play cards, okay. Okay, let's accept this, moving on. That's not gonna work, Sam. There's not really a point in talking to a person like that. It's just best to ignore them. Okay. The people of Paris commemorate Jacques, mayor of Ent. He was lynched by a furious mob for performing his duties to France. This march shall symbolize the unity of our society and the hope that the most violent states of revolution is past us. Let us make sure that no other loyal servant in France becomes a victim of such hatred again. King Louis says, okay. Okay, so this time, okay, the king apparently is still alive. Okay. Okay, let's go to the march. Okay, let's see here. Oh, guess the king. I am merely an observer. Do not change your habits for me. I heard a thing or two about young and ambitious Judge Tribunal. I was curious whether he is guided by justice or I say. Okay. Okay, we got our next case. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now we have two completely different opinions. Okay. The revolutionaries want prison. The common folk want an acquittal. Okay, so this is where the French Revolution got insane. Let's see what this guy's being accused of. The defendant is Oliver Mugler, a 65-year-old master locksmith who is famed among Parisian burglars as an expert on unopenable locks. Last month, he was commissioned by the owners of Parisian glassworks Jean Rood and Ferdinand to construct locks for ornate chests for valuables, presumably as gifts for their wives. The craftsman praised his latest creation as thief-proof. Shortly followed their completion, the industrialist houses were hit by a series of burglaries committed by a recent newcomer to Paris, Hector Vienne. The thief from Orleans was caught in the act and shot by Ferdinand Salin. As an expensive Turgot map of Paris with the houses of the recently robbed industrialist marked on it was found on the deceased. Surprisingly, Salon had given Mugler an identical map as advance payment. The deposit was in addition to the agreed removed from all the employers. Further interesting information came from the owner of the Ginger Marget Inn. She recalled that on the night preceding the burglary, the locksmith met there with a man she didn't recognize. Based on her description, we were able to identify him as the aforementioned Hector Vienne. The men allegedly engaged in an evening of drinking sponsored by Mugler. Evidence: a map of Paris found on Hector Vienne. Okay. Okay. There is a lot of stuff in this case. How do I go back a page here? Okay, so I'm favored by both the common folks and the revolutionary. Your son's drawing. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is how I go back. Okay. Theft and burglary. That's what he's being accused of. Okay, just so that we can get this right again. He's a master locksmith. Okay, he knows how to open unopenable locks. He was commissioned by the owners of Parisian glassworks and to construct locks for ornate chests for valuables, presumably as gifts for their wives. The craftsman praised his latest creation as thief-proof. Shortly following their completion, the industrialist houses were hit by a series of burglaries committed by a recent newcomer to Paris, Hector Vienne. The thief from Orleans was caught in the act and shot by Ferdinand Salin. An expensive Turgot map of Paris with the houses of the recently robbed industrialists marked on it was found on the sea. Surprisingly, Salon had given Mugler an identical map as advance payment. This deposit was in addition to the agreed remuneration from all the employers. Okay, so just so that we could get this, the guy's a famous locksmith. He constructed locks for chests that hold valuables, and he told them they were thief-proof. And then afterwards, there was people, their houses were broken into, and those chests were actually targeted, which looks really suspicious. Came from the owner of the Ginger. She recalled that on the night preceding the burglary, the locksmith met there with a man she didn't recognize. Based on her description, we will identify him as aforementioned Hector Vienne. The men allegedly engaged in the evening of drinking sponsored. A map of Paris was found on Hector. According to the case file, you are a citizen, Oliver Mugler. Is that correct? Indeed, it is, Monsieur le Judge. May I have a request? I would like to sit down, old man you see. Basic respect for the juice requires you that you remain standing. Do the names Salan Root and Ruxmen mean anything to you? They sound like the names of my debtors. Debtors, they are the victims of activities you conducted. You mean locksmithing? Okay, there's a lot of questions to ask him. Okay, this is going to be a longer case. Okay, let's try to break this down. Okay, it appears there's no traps in this case. Okay. Okay, there's a lot of things to choose from too. Okay, let's try to do this here then. Lock construction. Offender's personality. Series of... Okay. Now I gotta choose the right one to pick here. Okay, let's see. Offender's personality, lock construction. What do they mean by extenuating circumstances? What does that mean exactly? I would have to Google what that means. That's a little... Anyone know what that means? Because it's almost... The specific reasons that excuse or justify someone's actions. The map seems to be the only leading evidence against him. I would lead off that, dig more into finding out who this guy is and what motives he could have had. Could have been for financial gain. Okay. How many is there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Okay. Basically, like, evidence is too vague. Offender. Okay, got that one. How much did you charge for your services? 3,000 francs. Tidy sum, that is. If you were master locksmith, you charge that much too. That is quite a substantial fee. Indeed, that's how much it costs to have high-quality locks made by a master with nearly 50 years of experience, and those bastards never paid me a single franc. The victims did not pay you the agreed amount? Not a franc. I'd bet that, I'd beat that money right out of them, but I'm too old for that. Okay. Okay, so he wasn't paid. Let's review the, evidence again. Marks on the map. Let's see. Okay, that was right. Got it. That was the accusation. Were you the one who marked the addresses of the 3 victims on the map? I didn't mark anything. The houses of your clients are marked on the map. I don't know who marked them. Maybe you should ask the person you found the map on. Maybe the court has made the marks, has no memory of doing so. Do you not think there are too many coincidences in your story? You obtain the map, but lose it, and then it is found on the thief who has robbed your clients. I know nothing of coincidences. I only make locks. Okay. The jury's leaning more towards acquittal. Okay. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's try our best not to make any mistakes. Let's see what we got here. You know, my question for him would be, if I could actually ask my own question, is he designed these locks to be impenetrable, that they were supposed to be thief-proof, but yet they were broken into. What would that be the best? Which one would be the best one to ask here? Let's leave that one for a little bit here. Locks construction. Series of burglaries. What does the drunken evening have to do with this? I would have to read that part again. The men allegedly engaged in drinking sponsored further investigations. Informed came from the owner of the. She recalled that a night pursuing of the locksmith met there of a man she didn't recognize based on her description of the man allegedly engaged in the. Okay. So he apparently, based on description, he met with the people that broke into the house. Okay. I think this would fall under accusation, because he said, oh, it's incorrect? Really? I thought that that would be an accusation because he's in the inn with the thieves. That's at least what a witness saw. Evidence? Hopefully it's right. Damn. Ugh. So it can get a little challenging here. Okay, it was course of events. Do you know Hector Vian before? This is the first time I've heard the name. That is interesting. You were seen draining several bottles of wine together at the Ginger Margaret Inn. Is that a crime? No, but the question is, why are you denying it now? Was your drinking spree just a deception for discussing the burglary? Nobody I had a drink with introduced themselves as Hector. I didn't plan any heist of Hector, Victor, or Hugo. I'm a locksmith, and I earn good money from it. Burglaries are for vagrants without a job. Okay, you know, the thing is, though, this guy might actually be innocent. You never know, because what if the burglars stole the map from him at the inn? You don't know that when he was drunk. That could be a possibility as well. Okay, let's see here. I gotta be very careful. I can only make one more mistake. Map of Paris. I think the map of Paris would be evidence. Yeah, I was right. Okay. Do you recognize this map? No, I don't recall ever seeing it before. Yeah, you got a point. We had the map in the first place. Ferdinand Sellen claims that he gave you this map as advance payment for your services. He claims what? That wicked wretch of a second-rate merchant. He gave me a scrap of paper as payment for making 3 locks. It says it's supposed to be worth more than 3,000 francs he owes me. And honest labor is being judged while frauds remain at large. Silence. So this map does belong to you? It doesn't. So where is the map that you received from Citizen Salen? I lost it, but it wasn't even worth a loaf of bread, so I surely wouldn't shed a tear. But if you have it, maybe you stole it from me. You'd better take a note of the Oliver Mugler demands remuneration from Rude, Roques, and Salon. Okay. Okay, we're... Okay, Well, that's the thing, Sam. You don't know that he's telling the truth or not. That's why this is a very interesting strategy game, and it's really interesting they set this game during the French Revolution, where like a lot of people, innocent people, were actually executed during this time. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, there's no traps in this case, so we don't gotta worry about that. All of these have a question here. Famous thief. Can someone explain to me what this means? Extenuating circumstances. Does anyone know what that means exactly? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be looking at this other one here. Master locksmith. That's not course of events for Master Locksmith. So it's thinking of it. Series of burglary. Got it. Yeah, that's true, Mullins. Did you tell Factor Vian how to open? I understand what you're implying, but consider this. If he sold the secret of my locks, then my business would be over. Word spreads fast among thieves. That's a good point. That if he told them about how to open the lock, that his business would be ruined. Or means making forgivable, or the phrase extenuating circumstances describes a specific reason for their excuse or to justify someone's actions. Okay. Okay, we got 3 left. I'm gonna be really careful here. Master locksmith. I don't think that really means evidence. I don't think so, right, guys? I don't think master locksmith really is evidence. Course of events. No, I think it might be the extenuating circumstances. Famous thief. Okay, let me read the document again. I want to see what it says about the famous thief. The industrial's houses were hit by a series of burglaries committed by a recent newcomer to Paris, Hector Vian. The thief was caught in the act and shot by Ferdinand Salin. That's definitely not accusatory, but damn, the thief, what would that be? That would be course of events, or oof, this is getting really hard here. Okay, I got that one. Okay. Rumor has it that you were one of the best locksmiths in Paris. I should deny it for modesty's sake, but I will not. That cannot be true, although a random thief from Orleans was able to easily open your locks. That's a good point. Well, then he must have been one of the best thieves in Orleans. Let's be serious, Monsieur le Judge. Every lock can be picked with the right talents, even my locks. Okay. Ferdinand Solon, I believe Salon is the guy who, hang on. Yes, he was his employer. He, employed him along with, Jean Rude, Luis Rox, and Ferdinand Salon. They employed the guy to, they employed him to, make the locks for ornate chests for their gifts for their wives, but he wasn't paid. They scammed him. And then afterwards, his employer's houses got broken into, and the thief was shot dead. So, and we aren't able to question the thief at all because the thief's dead. Okay. Okay. I think the thief will be evidence, and I think the course of events will be for lock construction. Let's see. Hope I'm right. Yes, okay. You were commissioned by the victims to make chest locks. Who installed them? It was me, naturally, and all in the agreement with the contract. My job was to prepare and install the locks, and the employer was only to come and see whenever the work was completed and pay, of course. Was the installation carried out at your workshop? No, on site at the client's property. None of these idlers bothered to deliver the trunks to my workshop, so I had to strain my old legs. Does that mean you knew the addresses of the victims? How else would I get there, blindfolded and on a wagon? Okay, so he knew where they lived. Famous thief? Pretty sure that's evidence. Okay. Did you give Hector Vian the map? I gave nothing to Achilles, Hector, or any other Greek. Call in the witness, citizen Jean Rude. Okay. Jean Rude in the flesh. You will not speak unless called upon. Naturally, of course. What went missing during the burglary? Sorry, guys. Okay, let's see what he says. My house was the first one to be robbed, and in my case, it was mostly valuables at Rook's house. He will not sate himself, and I do not want to go to prison. It was the letters he had exchanged over the years with King Louis. My house was the first one to be robbed. In my case, it was mostly valuables. At Rook's house, he will not sate himself, and I do not want to go to prison. It was the letters he had exchanged over the years with King Louis. Damn monarchist. Salon did not lose a thing. He shot the vermin in the act. That is what he said. What happened to the items he had stolen? That still remains unknown. According to Salon, Hector had nothing with him. Ferdinand suspects he had hidden it with the other valuables somewhere. He hid the other items before robbing the last house? Strange. Okay. Now I think this guy might be lying. Now we gotta choose carefully. You can only choose one question to ask him. You look upset. What are you afraid of? Advance payment in the form of a map, its disappearance, the murder of a burglar, and lack of payment for services. I think I'm gonna ask number 2. What do you guys think? The locksmith might not be guilty after all. Okay, I think I'm going to ask this. Advance payment in the form of a map. Let's see. Yeah. Advance payments in the form of a map, its disappearance, the murder of a burglar, and a lack of payment for services. It all makes for a rather strange story. A suspicious one, too. I do not... What are you mumbling? If I say something, will I be free? He knows something. Please testify what you know immediately. The map was Salon's idea. He told the thief about the advance payment we gave to the locksmith and proposed that Hector steal it. The map was Salon's. He told the thief about the advance payment we gave to the locksmith and proposed that Hector steal it. And he did? Indeed. But then the bastard robbed us. Later, we were forced by Salon not to pay the locksmith because he sent the thief after us. And that's how it all went down the drain. That's the bourgeoisie for you. He fooled them all in one fell swoop. It sounds like Citizen Salon had everything planned. However, there is no evidence to support the claim. Perhaps it is Citizen Rude that is plotting against his partner and wants to frame him. And Vian is dead, so he will not be able to shed light on any of this. If I was younger, I'd give that salon drubbing, that pig, that good-for-nothing lying bastard. Please restrain yourself. The testimony of a witness is still not evidence, neither of Citizen Salon's guilt nor of your innocence. Okay. Okay, well, look. Let's take a look at that. We have everything here. Let's read this over one more time, just so we don't get confused. Okay, Salon did not lose a thing. He shot the vermin in the chest. What happened to the items he had stolen? That still remains unknown. According to Salon, Hector had nothing with him. Ferdinand suspects he hidden the other valuables somewhere. He hid the other items before robbing the last house strange. Advance payment in the form of a map, its disappearance, the murder of a burglar, and a lack of payment for services. It all makes for a rather strange story. What are you mumbling? If I say something, will I be free? Please testify. The map was Salon's idea. The locksmith's employer, he told the thief about the advance payment we gave to the locksmith and proposed that Hector steal it. And he did? Okay, the map, he told the thief about the advance payment we gave to the... Okay. So the map was Salon's idea. He told the thief about the advance payment we gave to the locksmith and proposed that Hector steal it. And he did indeed, but then the bastard robbed us. Later we were forced by Salon not to pay the locksmith because he sent the thief after us. And that's when it all went down the drain. Then, that's the bourgeoisie, okay. It sounds like Citizen Salon had everything planned. However, there is no evidence to support the claim. Perhaps it's Citizen Rude that is plotting against his partner and wants to frame him. There's not enough evidence to make him to send the locksmith to. I'm going for an acquittal. There's too much. There's not enough evidence for him. And also, I believe the guy that said the story before, because think about it this way. Somebody can't just come up with this crazy story on the spot like that. That this doesn't happen. He came up with this saying it was Salon's idea with the map. He told the burglar about it. The burglar then robbed us. He shot the burglar. So there's no way that he came up with that story just on his own. I think the story's true. I think they scammed the locksmith. Okay. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for an acquittal. To be honest, this does not bear the marks, so they would not pay him, so he had them robbed. There's balance here. Okay. Okay, I think that was the right choice to make. Okay, let's
King Louis XVI. There were people who truly loved him. He reminded the French they had noble ancestors. Do not be manipulated by people who are not bearing the burden of responsibility. This saddened me. Someone had advised him to say that. Someone who is well aware of the cold, inevitable wind of change. I did not pity the king, but those who will come after him, as they will not have great ancestors.
Frenchmen marched in the streets of Paris side by side, one line to commence. Jacques Dumont, mayor of Atamis. He was murdered by a furious mob. He was first by a furious mob, punished for a law he did not enact, but was obliged to observe. Freedom of speech killed him. If we understand this is the right to cast stones to show one's the right to murder people because you deemed them responsible for your miserable life, surely the people of Paris prefer that nothing happened. Okay. Yes, I like this game a lot. Okay. Mother likes to hear me playing, and there's nothing more boring than law. See, he would rather let his career rely on the humors of people. There are many ways to rescue France, believe me. Our country desperately needs something to ennoble it. The powers of the heads, the simple, illiterate people. Let him rescue their souls with music. This is better than boring laws and clauses. So what are you doing? You are spoiling my child. I do not have my own children spoiled, so I'm focusing on yours. Speaking of which, oh no. Okay, relations with the family. You attended the parade in memory of the lynched official. Okay. I think I'd do anything here. Okay, let's see what our next case is going to be.
That is our new symbol of freedom. You can still smell the fresh wood.
Do you feel free looking at it?
Individuals like us do not need symbols, but France does.
That's the guillotine.
Did you hear the news of the day? People are running around like headless chickens and yelling about Louis and his entourage escaping Paris.
So, we will not be enjoying the aroma of fresh wood for long.
Monuments like that are not installed solely for the purpose of punishing thieves or lesser aristocrats.
Do you think it wants to taste royal blood?
Louis's flight was a stupid move, yet it seems it was planned. One of us will sacrifice him. That is, if they catch him.
Is that why Louis visited us at the court? To manipulate us?
Maybe deep in his heart he felt what the builders of the guillotine did. That someone has to be exposed as a traitor, even if there is none.
Did I ever watch a lot of Law & Order? I watch a lot of the investigation shows, but I don't watch Law & Order because I like to watch actual realistic cases. I watch a lot of investigation, discovery, and real cases on there. My name is Antoine. I am the public prosecutor that has been assigned to assist at every tribunal trial starting from today. I should warn you that I am uncompromising, although I hope that we quickly find common ground. Happier news, the construction of the guillotine has been finished. We may begin using it today. So now we have a prosecutor. Yes, we have seen it. The king is gone. Treason. Anyone with information about his whereabouts should immediately disclose it to the authorities. You guys remember how earlier I told you that the king, that he tried to flee to Austria at this time because his wife, her cousin was the king of Austria. He tried to flee to Austria and have Austria invade France, and he got caught, and then he got sent back. He actually got caught near the border. He actually tried to disguise himself as a peasant, and then him and his wife were later executed. Okay, we got a new case here. Ooh, okay. Okay, we got one here. The common folk want this guy executed. The revolutionaries want an acquittal. Nobody wants prison. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happened. In the dock is Lucien Blanchot, a resident of the section des Gravillers, Rue Metz. Citizen Blanchot owns several grocery stalls. We have received multiple complaints regarding his unfair trading practices, such as selling spoiled fruit, price speculation, and the violation of legal price limits. Mr. Blanket has denied all the accusations, but my investigation in his stalls revealed at least some of the complaints to be justified. He claimed that the prices were inflated due to employee mistakes, and that the spoiled produce was about to be disposed of on the day of inspection. It must be noted that when the inspectors pointed out his transgressions, Blanket scolded his employees and readily set about restoring order at his stall. A young merchant and staunch supporter of the Jacobins, he has connections with Marat and Robespierre, or so he claims. So far, he has managed to get away with all of his shady dealings. There may be some truth to his boasting. Okay, let's go to the next page here. He sold me rotten apples. He put some fresh ones on top of that so I wouldn't notice. My husband couldn't stop reaching for 2 days after eating celery he bought from this swindler. Okay, so this guy apparently has connections to the Jacobins. The Jacobins were the extremist political party during the French Revolution. There was actually two political parties. There was the Girondists and the Jacobins. And what actually happened was the Jacobins pretty much took over the National Assembly because the Girondists opposed the death penalty. And because of that, Robespierre declared them all counter-revolutionary, and he had the entire Girondist party executed. And then the Jacobins took over. That was Robespierre's political party. They were the extremists during the French Revolution. Okay, okay, let's see. So he's accused of selling rotten rotten food. Occupation: merchant, also temporary prisoner. You stand accused of price speculation, breaking legal price limits, and selling produce unfit for consumption. Is that all? I asked the court to add deliberate poisoning of prison citizens to the list of charges. Poisoning. Stale vegetables never kill anyone. So you admit to the other charges. I am an honest entrepreneur, and my business will not be harmed by such allegations. Okay, let's take a look at some of the stuff we got in this case here. Number of traps. There's one trap here. I think the defendant's connections, that might be the trap. That might not be relevant to the, that's not relevant to the case. Okay, let's see here. If this guy has connections to Robespierre, that is really dangerous, because Robespierre was a psychopath. That's the guy who, he had 20 to 30,000 people killed around this time. Okay, let's see, rotten apples, let's see, rotten apples. Counter-revolution is one of them. Okay, okay, want to go to customers' complaints. Okay. We're able to make 3 mistakes here. There's one trap, which means we're not supposed to pick one of these. One of these are not relevant to the case. I think it's the defendant's connections. I don't think that's relevant to the case. Okay, let's try to figure this out. Customer complaints. Definitely not counter-revolutionary. That's nonsense. Ooh, the other ones, let's see. Let's use the rotten apples. We'll use that as evidence. I think that fits evidence, doesn't it? Let's see. What? That was the trap? Huh. That's, okay, let's... Customer complaints. Accusation, I think, for that one. Okay, let's ask him. Do you admit to selling spoiled produce? That has already been established by inspectors. There is no need to go over that matter again. Answer the question. Yes and no. Yes, because I admit that such things had been reported at my stalls. No, because it was not my fault. Whose fault was it then? I cannot be held accountable for nature not creating all apples equal. Apples are not citizens of France. but you are the owner of this business, and you can be held accountable for the produce you sell. He's right. I have never forced anyone to buy anything from me. So your customers, but you don't tell them it's spoiled food either, so your customers concisely purchase spoiled food. They will buy carrots as black as coal if you lower the price by a few francs, but they still expect them to taste as though they were fresh out of the ground. He's insulting the people. Throw this scoundrel in change. Okay. Jury has not revealed its verdict yet. Okay. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? Poisoning customers. I think that's an accusation. Yep, I was right. Do you know your produce made your customers sick? If anyone can prove that my produce was at fault, I will gladly cover the cost of their treatment or their funeral. They need only come forward. Try eating that muck yourself and you'll have your evidence. Let me remind you that witness testimonies will be taken into account. He was selling people, not food. Testimonies of jaundiced people who will do anything to hamper a wealthier man's work. Worthy evidence indeed. Jury's opinion, prison. So the jury wants prison. The common folks want the death, and the revolutionaries want an acquittal. Okay. Legal price limits. That's not the offender's personality. I think this one. Yep. It seems your employees are rather prone to making mistakes. I would do everything myself if I could, but that is impossible. There was no one in Paris competent enough? Do you think so little of your fellow citizens? Well, most people are dull to the very fact that I must defend myself in court attests to that. Did the defendant offer adequate instruction to his subordinates? I own a chain of grocery stores, not a parish school for the dim-witted. He's insulting us. Jury's opinion is prison. Okay. Okay, we're doing pretty good so far. Legal price limits. Hang on a second, let's read the legal price limits again. And the violation of legal price limits. Fraud, price speculation, bribery. Okay. I think this is counter-revolutionary. Let's see. Yep. Because that was set up by the government for those prices. With regard to the violation of illegal price limits, before Monsieur le Judge asked, let me make one thing clear. Legal price limits were never deliberately broken at my stalls. I find such accusations to be malicious and vile. Objection. You only corrected the prices upon the arrival of the inspectors. The inspectors imposed a substantial fine on me that I paid without delay. I have already suffered the consequences of my negligence. A fine won't stop from pending rotten tomatoes. Okay. Okay, so he admits to it that he messed up on the prices. Oh, there's still more to this one. Let's go more into the evidence. We have analyzed your ledgers and discovered that you have been violating legal price limits on a regular basis. Do you deny this accusation as well? Those ledgers are kept by ordinary people who are prone to making mistakes. I will analyze them again and make proper ones. Everything is his employee's fault. Everything. He's blaming everything on his employees. He's not taking any response. I don't believe him. Everything. His employees are messing up the expired food, and now his employees are messing up the ledgers. You are not an administration office, Citizen Blanza. These ledgers in their current state are evidence for the court. These are mere accounting errors, a zero or a decimal put in the wrong place by mistake. It can all be explained. After all, we are not friends of France here. Citizen Robespierre has assured me that we are. Has Citizen Robespierre also assured you that you can get away with falsifying records? Of course not. So why did you mention him? Robespierre is no lackey of costermongers like him. Silence or I will adjourn the proceedings. Have they bribed the judge as well? You see, he's bringing up his connections to Robespierre because he thinks that he thinks he can get away. He's like, oh, you can't do anything about it. I have connections to Robespierre. Let's look at the last one here. The defendant's connections, offender's personality. It's the only one left. Could you explain why there have been so many complaints about your business over the years? And yet this is the first time you have been brought to justice? Maybe it's because most of the complaints have been nothing but nonsensical claims from jealous loafers. Are you so convinced that Marat and Robespierre will protect you? I am convinced that the law will protect me. Justice is on my side. What do you mean? The law is supposed to protect the innocent. It should be on the side of those who are wronged by. Spare us the speech. This is not a session of the National Convention. Did anyone understand any of that? Forgive me, my soul cries out for justice, and so the statesmen you mentioned, Marat and Robespierre, will not have to deliver justice on my behalf. We've gone over everything. Everything. I only made one mistake in that one. Okay. Well, I need the prosecutor's citizens. Did the defendant confess to the crime? What are the defendant's confirmed political affiliations? He's a Jacobin follower. What was the defendant's attitude towards the first fines issued? Did he confess the crime? I mean, yes and no. What do you guys think? Because he didn't flat out say, yeah, I did it. But he kept saying, oh, it was a mistake. My employees made mistakes. Would that be considered a yes or a no? I'm thinking of that. What was the defendant's attitude towards the fines issued? Lingered with payment. He bribed the official to evade the ticket. He paid immediately. Did the defendant confess to the crime? I'm gonna say no. Okay. Okay, now I got a death penalty option too. I'm gonna go with yeah, he didn't give an exact admission. I'm going with prison. He's going to prison. I have friends in high places. I will be set free in a matter of days. You, on the other hand. Okay. 4 out of 4. Good job. I got him right. No, he's a Jacobin follower. He paid immediately. It was a written mistake. I did it. We need to prepare an official stamp. I was told to ask you, citizen, because President Devoyne is indisposed. What did he drink? He was not able to say, shall we? Design your stamp? Oh. Huh. I like the owl. I think that one's nice. Thank you for your time. I know it's late. The stamp should be ready tomorrow. Good night. Okay. You have to choose an action to see its description. You unlock more question effects in court. There's a new play opening tonight on the stage. It is a good chance to take a breather from reality. Spend your evening and your energy on of your sons. Your wife's needs can wait. Paragraph and codes. Bernard's musical. He needs to learn some musical and reading together. There's nothing like standing with your family, a good book next to him, even though some may think that it is dull. Okay. I'll unlock more questions in court. Let's do reading let's do reading together. Hi, Clarence. Well, the thing is, though, if Mullins, if somebody died from the food that was at his stand, that wouldn't be murder, because murder is when you plan to kill someone. If somebody died from like food at his stand, that would be a form of negligence. That would most likely be that would probably be a form of manslaughter. People feel betrayed by the king, and some believe him to be a spy trying to use special means are recommended when suppressing unrest. Okay. People can't control their emotions and are hurting their citizens. Look into it next time. They might do something worse than just throw rocks. It pains us to see the unrest growing in the streets of Paris. Commander-in-Chief Burrell has informed you that the Guard is no longer able to control the situation through peaceful means. It is recommended he be allowed to use more immediate methods to protect the innocent civilians, but we would like to know the Tribunal's opinion on the matter. I approve of the National Guard's use of force against ruffians ruining the capital. Okay, I mean, this is a little complicated because the National Guard was actually involved in a massacre because there was a bunch of protesters and they were throwing rocks, and a lot of them actually fired and killed into the crowd during the French Revolution. I don't know if that might be referencing this. Okay. And I think prison for the last guy was the best choice because if he went free, we would have made the common folk really mad, and if we executed him, we would have made the revolutionaries really angry. So I think the prison was the best choice in that situation. Okay, I'll accept. The Guard is tasked protecting citizens from those who are able to control their behavior. I approve of the... And I gotta stamp it too. Okay. The beloved tutor of your Frederick, you had to dismiss him after the incident with the oath of the clergy, did you not? Okay. It's about Monsieur Picard. He's been accused of counter-revolutionary activities. You know him. It can't be true. It's not so simple. Leave before somebody hears us. Paul, please go home. Think about the family for once at least. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay. Okay, the common folk want the death penalty, revolutionaries want prison, and the family wants the acquittal. Oh man, now it's going to be a complicated case. And there's even 2 case files here. Dear Claude, remember, stay strong in your faith and complete your duties with dignity. Tell me how our brothers in faith are doing as well. The church in these desperate times. May God protect you. Gene Arson. Okay. What is he accused of? Counter-revolutionary and treason. Claude Porcart, a 26-year-old vicar and tutor, son of cobbler, believes in Enlightenment ideals. After refusing to adjure the civil construction of the clergy, he was removed constitution of the clergy from his parish, prohibited from carrying out his duties, and sentenced to banishment. Despite this, he stayed in Paris and continued his work as a tutor, which he started before 1789. Porcart was captured in the streets for his circumstance. A guard officer present during his trial a few months ago recognized him and didn't hesitate to act. Following an investigation, Porcart was accused of spying and spreading counter-revolutionary propaganda in order to prepare a foreign intervention that would end the revolution. Correspondence with Archbishop Jean Arson de Bretteville was found in a room Porcart had been renting from Marie Gimmet. In it, the clergyman asked for information about the unrest and the supporters of the monarchy hiding. Riches were also found, a golden chalice and a reliquary. Go to the next page. Moreover, the director of one of the orphanages, Claude, taught and testified that tutor would question the law of the revolution in front of the students, stating that it was less important than the laws handed down by God. Evidence, a letter to Claude Porcart. Okay. Please introduce yourself. Monsieur le Judge, you know me. State your personal information or there will be consequences. Claude, Monsieur le Judge. You stand accused of spying for the counter-revolutionaries and criticizing the existing order. Do you admit to these charges? I am innocent. The accusation is exaggerated and comes from the ill will of the accusers. Suggesting that the revolutionary government is acting on ill will typical of a priest. Like I said, a lot of priests were executed. A lot of priests and innocent people were executed during this time. Priests were one target of these trials. Aristocrats were as well. Okay, let's see here. Let's look at all the evidence we got in this case. Let's see what we got here. There's no traps in this. Okay, so everything, we have to cover everything. Okay, let's see. Okay, banishment. Tutor. Tutor, I think, falls under the offender's personality. Yep, I was right. What stipend does the accuser receive as a teacher? 2 francs a week, but most people give me food instead. Bread, butter, sometimes wine. Does it not bother you that poor people have to take food from their children to give it to you? Of course it bothers me, but I have to eat. He keeps gold under his bed and still takes food from the poor. We demand an explanation. Where does the gold come from? It's not from your fellow conspirators abroad? Of course not. It belongs to a parish in the Compounds, which is currently under my care. This gold is not my property. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Parish priest, I think that's offender's personality. Yep, I was right again. Okay. Why did the accused continue teaching instead of leaving France? My duty is to help others. If I'm unable to help as a priest, I want to at least share some of my knowledge. Your knowledge is Catholic propaganda. I prefer the term Catholic values. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Banishment, I think that's course of events. I was right. Okay. I'm doing good so far. Why did the accused stay in France despite being banished? I had to take care of my sick mother. Without me, she surely would have died. Why did you not take her with you? Could make the filth squirm. I was in no position to afford it. I'm just a poor parish priest who was unable to even carry out his duties. I have to teach every single day to survive. Is that why you started spying for money? No. What information could I glean that would be useful to emigres? That one of the supposed persecution of priests. The main argument that Archbishop de Brunt and Pius are using to convince Catholic monarchs to strike against the revolution. I do not correspond with emigres. I certainly do not write about the suffering of our clergymen. I would like to remind you that we have evidence. Away with the liar. Okay. Let's see, what else do we got here? Okay. A letter from the Archbishop. Okay. Espionage. Okay, let me read the document again. I'm going to try my best to complete this whole case with making no mistakes. Okay, tutor. Banishment, we already covered that. Okay. A few months ago, recognized him, didn't hesitate. Following Pocard was accused of spying and spreading counter in order to suppress about in it the clergyman asked was found in a room corresponds with Archbishop that has been renting from Marie Jim. In it the clergyman asked for information about the unrest and the supporters of the monarchy in hiding. Riches were also found, a golden chalice and a reliquary. Okay, I wanna know why, if he's such a poor priest, why does he have all this gold in his room? That makes no sense. Okay, I'm gonna ask him about that in a moment here. How do I get to the next page? What am I supposed to? Okay. Got it. The accused travels extensively around the Paris department. To what end? I teach wherever I can find students. Doing that requires time and effort, I admit. Is that why you receive gold from your fellow conspirators abroad? He travels around France to spy on people. The only money I see comes from my students' caregivers. It is not at all my modest. So where did the riches found in your room come from? They were liturgical counterments. I saved them from the plunder of the church in compens. I'd rather go hungry than sell them. Peddler of suspension. We almost got all the questions answered. We're doing pretty good. Was there evidence that he was spreading propaganda? Let me look at that. Was accused of spreading counter in order to prepare a foreign intervention. I think that's more of an accusatory statement. That's not really evidence. Okay. Summon the witness, Marie Jimmet. Okay. Citizen, what is your name? Marie Jimmet, Monsieur le Judge. Okay, I can only ask one question. Was the witness aware that she was renting a room to an unsworn Catholic priest? Did the accused maintain extensive correspondence? Which one? What do you guys think here? Was the witness aware that she was renting a room to an unsworn Catholic priest? That's my question, is if she actually knew who the guy was when she rented the room next to him. What do you guys think in chat? What should I ask her? I can only ask her one question. Does the accused maintain extensive correspondence? Everybody still here in chat? Okay. Anyone still here? I think number 1, Mullins said. Okay. I didn't know he was a priest. He never worked, or I gave him a room. So he had that fact for me. He dressed normally, so maybe he did. I don't know. Did he ever criticize the revolution? Once he said that instead of beheading, they could do something about economy and teaching, that the children were hungry and, well, can't read or write. Did he ever question the law? Now that I think about it, maybe he did. One evening he complained that the law didn't work, that a smart person would send all the kids to school by force if need be. Priests lectured our nation for 1,000 years and nothing good came out of it. He's right. They gave us nothing more than hunger and disease. Just what I only want, a decent and universal education for the youngest. Is that really criticizing one of its slogans is equality? Counter-revolution, I think that's it. There. Yep. What do you teach? The caregivers in orphanages only pay for reading and writing lessons. So why did the accused teach children that God's law stands above that of the Republic? You spread superstition and counter-revolutionary propaganda. This is a misunderstanding. The children and I teach are unable to understand such complicated matters. The accused's explanation further incriminates him. If they aren't able to understand the topic, why would he even discuss it at all? The church spreads ignorance and takes our money. I was only answering questions from the director of the orphanage in Gambians. I said that God's law stood above banishment. It is God's law that prohibits me from leaving the country. I have a duty to help those in need. Okay. This is evidence. Did the accused celebrate masses despite the ban? There are no churches where I could do that. Then what purpose do the chalice and record possessed by the accused serve? Private religious practice. You are prohibited from administrating sacraments. It is not a sacrament, merely prayer. The Declaration of the Rights of the Man and the Citizen allow me to pray. You should be familiar with the document. That is besides the point, but promoting superstitions in a progressive country, you are spreading sedition. Okay, now the jury wants prison. Okay. This is actually very realistic. Stuff like this happened. A lot of priests were put on trial. The late stages of the French Revolution were extremely anti-Catholic. So this is actually very realistic. Stuff like this did happen. Okay. Let's see. A letter from the Archbishop. It's evidence. What information did the accused manage to convey to Archbishop de Breteuil? None. I have no connection with the Archbishop. Why would he be interested in a parish priest's help? What about your letter? We have it in our files. You received instructions from the Archbishop. Pope's dog. Behead the traitor. It is a simple letter, not instructions, and it is It is not from the Archbishop, but from my parish priest in Compass, Jean Arsen de... Where is he now? I know only that he planned to leave for Switzerland. He may have changed his mind, that is why I never thought to respond to the letter. What a coincidence. Archbishop de Bray currently resides in Switzerland. It is indeed a coincidence. Many clergymen reside in Switzerland. Who believes that? Okay. Okay. Okay, did the defendant confess to the crime? No. Where were the traders whom the defendant was corresponding with located? Switzerland. Was his act counter-revolutionary in nature? I don't know on that one. Let's go over everything. Let's go over everything again. These are the things that he, okay. What information did the accused master convey to Archbishop de Bertil? None. I have no connection to Why would he be interested in the parish priest's help? What about your letter? We have it in our files. You received instructions from Archbishop. Oh. Okay, let's read this again. It is a simple letter, not instructions, and it is not from the Archbishop, but from my parish priest in Compass. Where is he now? I know only that he planned to leave for Switzerland. He may have changed his mind. That's why I never thought to respond to the letter. Okay, hang on. What a coincidence. Archbishop currently resides in Switzerland. It is indeed a coincidence. Many clergymen reside in Switzerland. What do you guys think? Hang on. Continue teaching instead of leaving France. Okay. I was in no position to afford him. Just a poor parish priest who was unable to carry out his duties. I have to teach every single day to survive. Is that why you started spying for money? No. What information could I glean that would be useful to immigrants? That of the supposed persecution of priests. The main argument that Archbishop they are using to convince Catholic monarchs to strike against the revolution. I do not correspond with emigres. I certainly do not write about the suffering of our clergymen. I would like to remind you that we have evidence. Am I able to look at the letter itself? Okay, I already looked at this before. What do you guys think? Do you think he is guilty? Jury's opinion is prison. Acquittal for the family and the common folk want to see him executed. Let me read this one more time and I'll probably make my decision now. Counter-revolution and treason. Okay, 26-year-old Viker and a tutor, son of a cobbler, believes in Enlightenment ideas. Okay, so he believes in Enlightenment ideals. He was removed from his parish, prohibited from carrying out his duties, and sentenced to banishment. Despite this, he stayed in Paris and continued his work as a tutor, which he started before 1789. Pocard was captured in the streets by fortuitous circumstances. A guard officer present during his trial a few months ago recognized him and didn't hesitate to act. Following an investigation, Pocard was accused of spying and spreading counter-revolutionary propaganda. In order to correspondence, Archbishop was found in a room Pocard had been renting from Marie Jimmet. In it, the clergyman asked for information about the unrest and the supporters of the monarchy in hiding. The clergyman asked for information about the unrest and the supporters of the monarchy in hiding. Riches were also found. A golden chalice and liquorary. He asked for information about the unrest and the supporters of the monarchy in hiding. Okay. What do you guys think in chat? Think he's guilty? What should I do? He didn't confess and it was in Switzerland. His act kind of was counter-revolutionary in what he was sending in those letters. Yeah, but now the problem is I don't think he deserves death. Definitely not death. That's ridiculous. It's do we now the question is, do we send him to prison or do we give him an acquittal? Let's see if I'm right. The defendant confess. I think I'm gonna go with prison. Yeah, prison I think would be the best one. Even though this was he violated the law by returning to Paris despite his banishment and the fact that he sent the letter to the Archbishop. And there's one more thing that I want to review. I want to review that golden chalice that he had in his room. Okay. I think it's gonna be I think it's prison because if we do who wants the revolutionaries want prison, okay. And if we do an acquittal, we're pissing everyone off. Okay, yeah, I think it's prison is the best one to do. Okay. I got this all right. I got everything right here. It happened a lot during the French Revolution. These hangings in the streets, people got their heads cut off. It was just a very, in the Reign of Terror, it was a very scary time to live in.
One fool spewed out one word too many. The other fired a musket. They fought for freedom. Each for their own. That man. Hard to forget. He asked me if I'd seen his wife. He found his son. The freedom we borrowed from the wealthy and the noble. We believed it was worth the price. He was judged by people long devoid of their freedom. The only things they knew were dust and sweat, and anger.
Today's battle so not only grow up, boy, I only saw the truth when they attempted to sentence my son, your uncle, to death. It suddenly dawned on me that the only thing that mattered was the power I never had and the connections I never cared for. You wanted to be righteous while injustice spread like a plague. You should not be sorry about that. I'm not, but I would rather your brother lived so that I still had two sons. He died a long time ago, before you were born. Why did he die? Your uncle went to war and died in battle. Your generation will soon realize the extent of the damage we inflicted upon the world. In the past, these people like Poker never had to worry about the courts, but now, do you even consider the possibility Poker was guilty? Not Mr. Poker. He was no guiltier, his son. Keep an eye on the Renards. Okay. The deadly force against your family is not at all keen on talking to you tonight. Okay. Well, I guess I'll probably end this stream here, guys. I started streaming like well, like 2 hours for 2 hours now. Family and common folk want death penalty. Oh, this is the same, that officer that we treason and corruption. The 34 people. Yeah, like I said, it was the massacre. Okay. Okay, so I guess I'll probably end it here because guys, because I gotta get ready for a class that I have later tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed me playing this game. I mean, do you want me to play this on the next exclusive stream that I do? I could possibly play this game again. But hey, Diesel. There's a lot of stuff in this one. So there's you guys have any questions or comments before I go? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Kjum. You guys, if you guys have anything you want to ask me or questions or a suggestion, if you guys want me to make a specific video, let me know. I have 2 special warehouses. You think a third is worth it? No, don't get a third warehouse. That's a waste. When's your next GTA stream? That will probably be on Sunday. Sunday, that will probably be. Top 5 ways best to counter griefers. I could think of something like that. Oh. Well, I'm glad that it helped you then, Kajum. Oh, Saucer Cats, you were watching that whole thing? Do you know the history of the French Revolution? If anybody knows this time period, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I might do a review on this game in my channel eventually, but review will probably be later in May if I do a review on this, because I would have to play through a lot of the cases. But well, it was a really scary time period where like a lot of innocent people were accused, and a lot of innocent people were accused of stuff, and they were innocent and they got executed. It was a pretty scary time period to be alive in. So anybody has any last questions, comments, or concerns before I go? Let me know. How about top 5 novelty vehicles in GTA Online? I could make something like that. How much do you make from selling everything? Well, if it's a double money event, I made around $36 million selling everything in my giant sale that I made like months ago. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna head out here, guys, because I gotta get ready for my night class. I hope that you guys enjoyed me playing this game. Do you guys like this game? Did you like the investigation in this game and like figuring everything out? And I mean, I bought this game primarily because it's a historical game and it's set during the French Revolution, and that's why I really wanted to play this game. But Well, I could play it again, but Keiju, the video, you have the link, so you can always go back to the video and watch it if you want to watch me doing the other cases. In the other cases, I think I got the verdicts right. I sentenced a few people were I found innocent, but I think I got the verdicts right in the other cases. But best bargains video, maybe something like that I could make also. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, I mean, drop a like if you guys enjoyed my stream here, and I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Would you guys like to see me make a review on this game later in May? I could possibly review this one. One more thing, what's that, Irish? Okay. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go here. I'm just waiting for Irish because he wanted to ask me one more thing. But how about having streams where you just have a community day with your crew members and you just chill out, have fun when you're not grinding? You know how, like, millionaires spend free time? We could do something like that. I mean, I do those kind of on Red Dead. That's what we do on Red Dead if we have those chill out streams. Because there's not really much to do in Red Dead, but I mean, I could think of something to do with like that on GTA. Maybe like, you know, play golf or something like that. Like, because I actually like playing golf a lot in GTA. I actually do really enjoy it. Think of some other things to do as well. But I'll probably do a lot more of that, Irish, when I hit $1 billion. When I hit $1 billion, I'll probably do like a lot of those streams because I'll probably hit my goal at that point, and I won't really need to grind that much. Maybe you can also make a video on giving tour of all your vehicles has been requested on your live streams, and people would love it. I could possibly do a tour. My vehicles I don't think are really anything special, though. I own a lot of them, but I don't think it's really anything special, personally. But I guess I'm gonna go here. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the stream. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. And I'll probably have a review of this up later in May, but first I gotta review Generation Zero, and then I'll play Days Gone tomorrow, do a live stream on that, eventually do a review on that. Have a video planned for tonight. Tonight I should have a video up on GTA. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.